Hello and welcome to the Punisher's Paintball YouTube channel. My name is Media Guy Doug, and today we're going to run through some common issues that may not and probably are not your fault with the Planet Eclipse LV2. Sorry if you had to find this video for any reason. We will get you fixed up right away. But before we get to any of that, I need you guys to do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel here, drop a comment if you want, not mandatory, but when you are done watching and you've decided that you obviously want to buy an LV2 from Punisher's Paintball, use the link in the description and we'll catch you after the intro.
I'm so free.
Alright, so I'm going to start with one that you probably don't really see too much. I think Joel said he's seen it maybe once with an LV2, but something to definitely watch out for. If you find that you're having an eye fault, do take your marker back apart and see if you, one, if you seated the eyes correctly, and two, if you haven't pinched a wire by accident. This is one of those markers where that is still a possibility. There are wires that run through for the eyes to the board, so do be careful when reassembling and putting the marker back together as far as the lower and upper bodies of them, but definitely just make sure that you go slow when you're doing that. You don't want to pinch a wire, make sure everything is in its place as you're doing it. So that could be, that's probably one of the only user-related possible errors. Could obviously also come from factory that way, but more often than not, that tends to happen after markers leave the factory and get into the hands of the consumer. So there's going to be your first one that you probably won't see a whole heck of a lot with this, but just good to keep in mind. With my trusty list here, next, I'm talking about how to service a couple things. Here's the thing, as far as cycling this marker, something to understand is that this is your bolt. This is what actually strikes the ball and, you know, releases the air onto it, but that is not what's really driving the show here. What's actually driving the show is the rammer back here, which this is really finger tight. There is a space for Allen keys here where you could tighten it more. You don't really need to. As long as it's solidly finger tight, you will be a-okay. So first you take this bad boy off, pop your rammer out. Actually, I'm sorry, I have to take the bolt out because that locks it in. My bad. Anyway, pop the rammer out. There we go. So, how to service this bad boy. You will get both lube and oil with this marker. What you need is oil for this. So with the oil, you drop it on, rub it on there, on the O-rings, get it all oiled up. Then you put it back inside the marker. Like so. Drop it in, take this, finger tight back on. Careful so you don't cross thread anything. Boom, easy, done. And then take your bolt, pop her back in. Easy peasy, right? Super simple. Make sure, again, use the oil, not the lube, so the more clear stuff, not the white, thicker kind of lithium grease. You want that clear oil on the rammer back here. So first and foremost, that is the big thing. That is going to be probably one of your more commonly performed service needs with this marker. Moving on, the lube will be used on your LPR and HPR. Let me just get this foregrip off here. This does come off toollessly, which is sweet. So there is a metal clip here. What you'll do is you'll hold on to these two, and you'll just pull the clip. Super easy. My fingers are slippery because of that oil on the on the rammer. There we go. It's got some nice grooves in here to grab onto as well. So there is going to be some spring pressure. These are going to want to push out a little bit. They come out very easily. There's your LPR. Put it right back in. And there you have it. There's your HPR. Same thing. Super simple. Comes out, goes back in. Toollessly. Very simple. So when it comes time to reassemble it, when you've done lubing it and messing with anything to do with the LPR and HPR, which also, while we have these out, I'd like to talk really quick. If you do find that there's a lot of shot inconsistencies with your marker for any reason, the LV2 is very sensitive to having a good, high quality, fresh battery in it. It'll last you a while, but once that thing is done for, you need to replace it. So first things first, replace your battery toollessly. I'll show you how in a second. If you have done that and it's still cycling weird, not really doing quite what it used to do, pull these bad boys out, check out your reg seat on both of them after you've lubed everything else, and if that's faulty or if that's kind of got rips and tears in it, then definitely replace the reg seats on these, get everything re-lubed, put back in its proper spot, and when you're done with that, reassembling, press down on the LPR specifically to get the clip through everything, and then it should hold right back in just as normal. And then you can just, right here, slap it right back on. So something else to talk about too regarding this clip and this whole thing. When the LV2 was originally manufactured, the HPR did not have the milling for the clip to be able to grab onto all the way around at 360 degrees because they weren't anticipating that anybody would over tighten the HPR and actually turn this physical piece, but that did end up happening at some point. So that means that it like when they pulled this clip off, this thing shot out and could have really hurt somebody. So they had to update the milling. If you do have one of the older LV2s, there is a chance that you may not have heard about the recall and sent your marker in to get the updated HPR. Make sure that you just check in with the Planet Eclipse Tech if you go to an XL event or any of the regional MSXL events. I know I see them everywhere. It's another really great point about Planet is they're servicing and their techs are everywhere. There is no reason that you should have a marker that doesn't work for more than, you know, a single business week when you're messing with a Planet Eclipse gun. They are very, very good to work with. So anyway, HPR update that pretty much every marker that's out now should have. They caught it within the first month of release, so should not be too much of an issue. Also, regarding the LPR back here, if you find that when you're turning on your LV2, first I should say, when you're turning on the air from your POPs ASA, if you turn that on and the marker cycles and shoots a ball, that could very likely be that your LPR for some reason is turned all the way up, like just absolutely cranked, which I'm going to tell you right now, unless you really know what you're doing and how to tune one of these markers, I would not recommend really messing with your LPR at all. That is something for the slightly more experienced tinkerer. So definitely leave that one alone if you don't really know what you're doing. As far as taking out and placing your battery toollessly, super easy. These grips, push one forward, on the other side do the same, push that one forward, reach down here, there's a nice little tab that you can pull off the back. See, super easy, look at that. Do it on this side for you, look at that. Comes right off, and then inside there's another tab, down here again, just pull the grips right off, and then on this, it does come off on both sides, but you see right here is your battery. Super easy to replace. Without doing a talking demonstration, probably wouldn't have even taken me the 7 seconds that it did. But, you know, gotta go slow for the people watching at home. Can't go rushing by for you kids. So just gonna put this back together here, guys. But really, I'll check over my list as well. That honestly covers pretty much everything that we know of to be some very common issues. Not even very common, really. We rarely ever have to see or do much of anything with an LV2. But that really should cover anything that is going wrong with your marker. For the most part, just change the battery and keep things lubricated. Make sure you lube and service your LPR and HPR with the white lubricant, that Dow 33. Make sure you put oil on your rammer. Do not put anything on the actual bolt. I know there's a couple O-rings on there, but don't worry about lubing them or putting oil on them. That's actually going to cause more breach wear and do more harm than good. So really, the bolt, your only concern is just making sure that you have it stuck in the right spot and that, you know, none of the O-rings actually physically tear. But beyond that, guys, this is a really, for how complex it can be, this is actually a very nice, very simple marker. Shouldn't really have too many issues out of the box with them. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope this helps. Let us know if there's any other weird issues that we didn't quite catch. But looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. When you're done, use the link in the description. Make sure you're shopping at Punisher's Paintball, and we'll catch you in the next one.
I'm so free.